One way that I like for us to think about sexuality is that of the role of a carburetor in a car. Now, for those of you who even are aware that there was such a thing, a carburetor in many car engines for the longest period of time was the part of the car that was distributing electrical circuitry. It was distributing the firing of spark plugs to the engine that would allow the engine to run. And so the carburetor was central to the car's function. And sex is kind of like a carburetor in that it plays a central role in who we are as human beings. But we don't build cars simply to have a place to put carburetors. No one really thinks about just having a carburetor that we put on our mantle. We don't build carburetors just so that we can have them. But we often talk about sex kind of like as if it's a carburetor that we're going to buy just for the sake of having a carburetor. When in fact, we really want to understand sexuality as playing a crucial role but part of a much, much larger thing that's going on here. And what is the thing that's going on? We're building an automobile. But why are we building an automobile? We're building an automobile in order for it to take us places. How is this helpful for us in understanding what it means for us to be people of sexuality? Well, one of the ways that we can consider this, not the only way, not necessarily even the best way, but a way that I think that is helpful and certainly is a way for us as people who are followers of Jesus to consider it, is to consider the notion, first and foremost, of the family. That the family is the unit that God most has in mind when He's creating us in Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2. These are not my ideas. These are ideas that come from the biblical narrative, but they're also ideas that are most, I think, thoughtfully articulated in the work of Pope John Paul II. This notion that the family is God's mission to the world, that He brought male and female together, and out of which come children, and out of which come more marriages, and out of which come more children, and so forth and so on. This becomes God's way of bringing beauty and goodness onto the face of the earth. Sexuality, of course, is a key element of this, but it's important for us to recognize that sexuality is a means to an end. It is a way for us to represent what it means for us as a family to be on the earth.